Honestly, Hobbs, I don't get it. You really think people are naturally cruel and selfish? If you strip away society's rules, you're telling me we just descend into chaos?
Well, yes. Without structure, without someone strong to keep things in check, people would be fighting over everything. It's human nature. In the state of nature, there's no peace, no cooperation, just fear, violence, and survival. Life would be nasty and short.
I don't think you're seeing it right. People are born free and good. Society makes them selfish and competitive. If we just got rid of all the social structures, we'd return to a more peaceful way of living. The inequalities and the rules, those are the things that corrupt us.
You're romanticizing it. Nature isn't all freedom and peace. It's dangerous. Without rules, people wouldn't be able to protect themselves. It's not just about competition, it's about survival. People do anything just to stay alive. That's why we need strong leadership, someone with the power to keep everybody in check.
But it's a society that forces people to fight over things like land and resources. Before all these institutions, we live simply. If we just let go of those systems, we could return to a more honest, natural way of life.
But you can't just get rid of those systems. People are inherently selfish. Without a powerful leader to keep order, there'd be constant chaos. That's why I argue for authority, so there's power to keep the peace. Without it, everything falls apart.
But if you give all the power to a ruler, you're just creating another form of oppression. I'm not saying we shouldn't have laws or rules, but they need to come from the people, not from a king or dictator.
And how do you make that work? You think people can be trusted to govern themselves? They can't even agree on what to have for dinner. Without a higher power to keep everything together, things break down.
If the people act as one, if they all work toward the common good, there's no need for a ruler to impose their will. We just need to trust each other.
The general will sounds good, but who decides what's best for all? In reality, the majority doesn't always know what's best. That's where chaos starts.
That's why power shouldn't be concentrated in one place. Power corrupts, Hobbes. When one person or a small group holds too much control, it leads to inequality, and that's what creates violence. We need a society where everyone has a voice.
And how do you stop the strong from taking advantage of the weak? Without someone to enforce the rules, society breaks down. It's nice to think people will just get along, but without security, nothing else matters.
I'd rather risk a little havoc than live in a world where someone controls everything. At least in a more equal society, people have a chance. They can choose to help each other in society.
You'll never get everybody to agree on that. People are too selfish. Power is the only thing that guarantees safety.
And that's where we'll always clash, Hobbes. I'll always take my chance on freedom.
I really don't think we need all this authority and control, Montesquieu. Power should be limited, and people should be free to think and speak however they want. Too much power leads to corruption.
I get what you're saying, but we need some form of government to keep things in balance. If we have too much freedom without rules, it leads to chaos. I think the best system mixes different types of government, like monarchy, aristocracy, and democracy, so no one part gets too powerful.
But why have monarchy or aristocracy at all? Those systems just keep power with the rich and the powerful. What we really need is more freedom for the people, not more layers of power that don't help anyone but the elites.
I understand your point, but without a solid structure, people can't live peacefully. In some places, a king or a noble class works. In others, democracy is better. The key is understanding what works for the people in a given society and finding a balance.
I'm just not convinced. Those old systems, monarchs, the church, they keep us stuck in the past and unequal. We need progress, and that means challenging things like the church's influence and giving more freedom to individuals.
But tradition and religion have been part of society for so long. We can question them, but we can't just throw everything away. The best way forward is to reform the system without destroying it. A government that separates powers, like having separate branches, helps prevent anyone from gaining too much control.
Okay, I see your point about separation of powers. But as long as people can't speak freely and challenge authority, we won't get anywhere. We need real freedom of expression and thought.
I agree with that, but too much freedom without control can create chaos, and too much control without freedom leads to dictatorship. We need to find a balance between the two.
I still believe that individual freedom should come first, but I see where you're coming from. I guess we both want a better society, just in different ways.
You know, Isaac, I've always thought that religion plays an important role in society, especially when it comes to moral behavior. It helps keep people in check, guiding them to act in ways for the greater good.
I understand where you're coming from, Adam, but for me, religion is more about understanding the divine order behind the natural world. I spent much of my life researching the laws of the universe, and I think these laws are a reflection of God. But faith should focus on spirituality, not necessarily what humans impose on each other.
I see your point, but don't you think that the belief in something beyond ourselves motivates people to behave morally? If they believe in an afterlife, it encourages good behavior, doesn't it? At least I think so. I believe society functions better when people have something to believe in.
I can't argue with that, but I think it's important to look at how the universe operates. If you study nature, then you can see the divineness in the way everything works. That should be the focus. It's not about human-created things or forcing beliefs on others. It's about recognizing a higher order through reason.
That's true, but I think religion helps people follow social norms. Without that sense of right and wrong, chaos could grow. So in a way, religion helps our society.
I wouldn't argue that society needs some sort of moral structure, but I still believe that the study of nature and the laws of the universe can lead us to a better understanding of God. Faith and reason shouldn't have to be opposites. They should go hand in hand with one another. Science isn't opposed to religion. It can help reveal it.
I see what you're trying to say now. So you see, science and religion as two paths that lead to the same ending? I guess we're not that different after all, Isaac. We both seek a deeper understanding of the world.
Exactly. In my opinion, the more we understand about the natural world, the closer we come to understanding our spirituality. But I think we should leave the structures of religion to the philosophers. Personally, science and reason are my guides.
I would say, at least for society's sake, it's still crucial that religion provides some sort of support for moral behavior. We can't always rely on reason alone to keep people out of their own heads.